At first, when I was watching and Sanji went to the queer island, I thought, oh man, that's kind of sad. Like, I feel like maybe Oda is a bit transphobic, or he like is leaning into the trans women, or possibly, I can't tell, because like they don't really ever specify it, but there's basically an island. There's basically an island of full of, I don't know if they're trans because they don't really talk about it, or if they're drag queens, or or just cross-dressing, you know what I mean? But basically, at first, you go onto this island and you're like, Sanji thinks everyone is a cis woman, and it's like not really expected that there's only been a couple non-binary or like androgynous, I guess, characters thus far in the entire sequence. It's been 500 episodes, right? So you don't even expect there to be like trans characters, trans, non-binary characters, drag queens, all that sort of stuff. So he thinks everyone is like all these sexy ladies. And then it turns out like there's a big reveal where they're all actually, kind of burly, queer folk that are, I can't tell if they're, and I'm not trying to be like inappropriate, but I can't tell if they're like, the way that they describe it, you can't really tell if they are actually like trans women or if they're just like doing drag. You know what I mean? Like you don't really get to see it. But there's like, obviously that's a stereotype, And then another like negative anti-trans stereotype is also that like, we just know that they're queer, right? And then another negative stereotype is like, oh, that like trans people and like people that do drag are like very pushy and like predatory, right? That's another negative stereotype associated with, trans people. But regardless, right? Regardless, like they're drawn that way. Okay. So at first you're like, oh, what the f-? Like, because Sanji immediately is like, wait a minute. Like, these guys are not, women. And at first I thought, oh no, Oda is like transphobic maybe. But then I found out that it certainly is not the case. Because one of the greatest characters, and, spoiler alert here, right? One of the better characters, one of the cooler characters that we meet in the prison is Eva. Now, Bon Clay is great too. Bon Clay is like, a little annoying at times, but like a great character overall. And Bon Clay is, I think Bon Clay technically is trans or also non-binary. I don't know. Bon Clay, like, it's never really discussed, but like, Bon Clay openly says that they're queer. You know what I mean? Like, they openly say they're queer. And Ivankov as well is like called the queen of the queers. And this sequence is like very interesting because like I've never seen this level of trans and queer representation in an anime ever in my entire life. But also Imperial Ivankov, the character that I'm talking about, and like it was also 20 years ago, by the way, which is crazy. Not 20, but 10 years ago at this point. It's insane.
My life, anyone ever forgot my face. I don't care if you lost your memory. Society.
So this is like this is like the party area. Like there's a little bit of spoilers, but I just want to show you visually. You won't understand what this is unless you've already seen it. But like basically, and I don't want to spoil it for myself either, so I'm not going to like look at this that much, but it's crazy that like 10 years ago, Oda was doing, 15 years ago, Oda was doing trans representation in manga and anime. That is insane. That is insane to me. This dude is like, everything I see about One Piece makes me feel like he's a communist. Because the Japanese Communist Party is like very, very progressive. It's like one of the most progressive socially parties in the country too. He doesn't just do like the classic manga comic relief trope of like the drag queens. He like actually treats these characters like fully fleshed out, full human beings. Not only that, but also revolutionaries, which are the coolest characters, clearly, like objectively on the good side thus far, as far as I understand. Like, you know, they made like a trans commie revolutionary character. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And I was blown away by it. As you know, someone who's into politics, obviously, that was like crazy. In terms of power level, could you defeat Usopp? Yeah, dude. Maybe not Sniper King, but Usopp, absolutely. Ivankov's power is hormones. Like HRT. But remember, it's in 2008, man. Literally, there are moments where Ivankov straight up says, gender is not real. Are you kidding me? You don't see that in like live action. Bro, there are lines where Ivankov straight up says, you do not have to ever care about gender. Like, that's crazy to me. No one, okay, and I mean no one who would ever. No, this isn't even forcible. This is a positive gender affirmation moment. This is literally positive gender affirmation. The other one is a negative version of it where he like you know, forcibly transes someone. He forcibly transes him too, but then he like loves it. Look, says you have to be a more honest individual. Yeah, there's a line where it's like one may stray from the path of a man, one may stray from the path of a woman, but there's no straying from the path of a human. Also, remember, Luffy is the main character, and he's supposed to be the moral compass of the show, right? And as the moral compass of the show, Luffy doesn't give a shit about it at all, likes it, thinks it's cool. So you have to also remember that too. Look, yeah, she goes, I realized who I really am thanks to you.
Candy boys and candy girls you see here have used my help to really kick gender in its sorry pants. Some men became women and some women men, but all of those hang-ups are a thing of the past. In short, those are the kind of miracles we deal in here. I just provide the hormones. Ha ha! Everyone else provides the dream! It's not a dream, it's a dreamland! All of these candies you see around here were once lost prisoners who made it here by sheer luck, each with their own story. See, there are hidden
The animation is so ugly, though, I can never get into it. I'll be honest with you. It took me a while to get into the animation as well. Straight up. Also, Ivankov is literally modeled after Dr. Frankfurter, Rocky Horror. I've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show. Have your theater kid friends watch Rocky Horror with you? Yeah. I've never seen Rocky Horror. Von Claire is queer. Openly. And is like a very colorful, very cool villain. Excuse me, I'm just writing my I'm writing my blast off tweet.